Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. It is early in the morning today and I am all ready to give you guys the full ship tour of this beautiful Voyager of the Seas. As the previous times, I'm going to start from the bottom up, so let me head down to deck 3 to start the tour of Voyager of the Seas. Let's go. Alright, so here we have the layout of the ship. As you can see, on deck 1 there's only the boarding area and the medical facility, so nothing really for me to show you guys there. On deck 2 there's staterooms and then there's the conference rooms, but again, not really a lot to show you there. So we are now here on deck 3, so let's see what I can show you guys. So first off, here we have one of the main dining rooms. It's the My Time dining room. So here is where you would come if you don't have a specific time for your dinner. Let me see if I can quickly show you what it looks like. It's an absolutely gorgeous 3-story venue. So you can see this is the first floor, and as I said, it's the My Time dining area. And then here on the other upper 2 decks, then you would have the early and late dining times. But a very beautiful space. Then here you have the photo gallery, and behind there is then Studio B, which is closed now, but that's the ice skating rink, and you have the ice skating shows there as well. So that's basically all you have here on deck 3. We will take a look at the other end of deck 3, which is the Royal Theatre. So I will head over to that end of the ship now. The thing with Voyager of the Seas is it's a bit, because it's a smaller ship, you need to think a little more how to get to places. So for example, on deck 3, it's not possible to go from one end of the ship to the other. You need to go to deck 4 if you want to make it from the aft of the ship to the front of the ship on deck 3. So just something to keep in mind, especially if you're in a hurry, let's say to catch a show at the front in the main theater or in midship in the Studio B for the ice show. So we are now on deck 4, and you have the tavern. As well as the art gallery. And then if we head forward on deck 4, we get into the Casino Royale. They have all of your typical casino games, the tables, the slots, and they do have my favorite machine, of course, the quarter pushing machine, which is right here. Shut off at the moment, but still, it's here. And then I have to show you one specific game which has been really lucky for me. this cruise, so in case you're interested, I'll show it to you. I picked it purely for the name of the game, which is here. It's called Kicking Ass. And they only have one of those machines, and it's been a favorite of mine. And I've noticed that other people have found it as well, but most of the time it's been empty, perfect for me to use when I want to. So then I'm now at the other end of the casino. Let's head out of the casino and show you what's left. So as you walk out of the casino from this side, at the front end of the ship, you will have the schooner bar. This has been a favorite of ours on many cruises, especially this one. There's been amazing bar service here, great bartenders, and then you have the schooner bar here with the piano. They've held trivias here and all kinds of activities in the schooner bar. And as you can see, there's a nice amount of seating at the bar, on the side, and then around the piano as well. And then next to the schooner bar, you have Giovanni's Table, which is one of our favorite specialty restaurants on board. You then have stairs that take you up to the upper decks, which are beautiful. It's one thing you don't really get on all of the bigger ships anymore, are these beautiful stairwells and staircases. But now let's pop down to deck 3 to take a look at the Royal Theatre, which is 2 stories. So as I said, the Royal Theatre is here at the very front of the ship on deck 3 and deck 4. It's closed now, but a very typical theatre, nice and big, especially for the size of the ship. And they've had all of their shows here. They've also showed some movies, which has been nice throughout the day. I wish sometimes they would have showed them even more often, especially since this cruise has been a bit chilly at times. But this has been a great space to come and see some entertainment on board. And let me show you the view from the Royal Theatre. You have this big staircase, which is great for photos. Amazing. You really arrive at the theatre in style. But now I have showed you deck 3. So in the back of deck 3, we had the restaurants and Studio B, and here in the front, you have the Royal Theatre. We took a stroll through deck 4 because that was our way to get here. So let's now head up to deck 5 and hopefully a little bit less confusion as we make our way through the ship. The rest of the getting around should be a bit more clear because it's not as cut off as deck 3 is. All right, getting busier now. We are on deck 5, which is one of the main decks on board. You have the promenade here, but before we get to the promenade, I will show you what's here. So at the very front, we have the Star Lounge. Here we have some entertainment every so often. You have the art auctions that are held here. A nice, big, and comfortable space. A little bit more of a lounge style rather than a theater style. As you can see, the house band plays here as well. And next to the Star Lounge, you then have also the Diamond Club or the Diamond Lounge. So then as we head out from the Star Lounge area, we get to the Royal Promenade. which is full of shops. It has the cafe promenade and lots of activity throughout the day. We have the pub, which is called Pig and Whistle aboard this ship. We have some shops, and then you can get down to the Casino Royale. And then more shops on both sides. And then when you get to the other end of the Royal Promenade, you are left with guest services and shore excursions, which are here. And then on the other side, you have the R Bar, which I think used to be called the Champagne Bar. It's the R Bar now, and it's also a nice space to come for some drinks. Not a lot of seating, and seems to be relatively popular, especially in the evenings, to come have a drink. And let's just take one last look at the Royal Promenade. All right, then before we head up to the next level, I will quickly show you what's back here. The only thing that's really left on this deck is the final level of the dining room, but I showed it to you already earlier. It's basically very similar in all of the levels, and this is, as I said, the highest level of the dining room. All right, so deck number 6, and we have the next cruise here. So this is where you can come and book your next cruise when you're on board, and actually next to the next cruise you then have the Crown and Anchor Society's loyalty ambassador here. She takes care of all the Crown and Anchor needs, and she is sitting here next to next cruise whenever she's in her office hours. And other than that, there's only staterooms for the rest of deck 6. So let's head to the next deck that has something for us to see, which is deck 7. All right, so deck 7, very similar to deck 6 in that there isn't a lot here, but this deck has the library, which is also then the card room. You can come here and pick up books to loan during the cruise for reading. A lot of people come here to play cards, they come to read, and you also have a couple computers here and a printer in case you need to or want to use those. We also have the model of our Voyager of the Seas here. But as I said, this space is on the back of deck 7. The rest of the deck is staterooms. So let's go take a look what we find next. All right, so as you can see, deck 8, 9, and 10 are all staterooms. So let's head up to deck 11, which is the pool deck, and I will show you what we find there.
Deck 11, doors opening.
All right, so deck 11, at the very back of the ship, you have the Windjammer buffet, which is now closed, but I'll show you some clips that I took of the Windjammer as we visited throughout our cruise. They have an amazing selection. The quality of the food at the Windjammer is just spectacular. We really love to go there, not only for breakfast and lunch, but we also have been there for dinner. It's a really great space. And they actually have two smaller specialty venues on both sides of the Windjammer, so let's go take a look. So this is at the center. It's a U shape, so you just travel around. They have buffet stations set up all around. And to the left of Windjammer, we have Chops Grill, which is the steakhouse on board. It does cost extra, and we've been here a couple times. And then to the right-hand side, there's the cupcake store. And here they have cupcake making classes, and you can also purchase cupcakes of your choosing. And that's all that's here at the back of the ship and inside, so let's head out to the pool deck. You have a ping pong table here, and then you can see that there's a variety of pools out here. There's two big pools for swimming, and then there's two big and two small hot tubs here as well. The pools are not yet open for today, but let me give you a look. They're still roped over for the night, but they're nice and big pools. You have a couple showers and a big screen where they've been showing some outdoor movies as well. Outdoor movies are fun to watch from the hot tubs or from the pools if the weather so allows. And then before I get too far away, let me show you one thing that's just outside the Windjammer on the back. So right here next to the Windjammer, or actually even more close next to Chops Grill, on the outside deck you have the ice cream. So here you can come and pick up some soft serve if you'd like. You have sun loungers spread around the pool deck. And then, of course, you have the pool bar here right in front of both of the bigger pools. And in case you're staying in a suite, these three levels of sun chairs on both sides are reserved for the suite guests. You then have some life jackets for the little ones or for people who can't swim. The towel station. Hey, morning. Some more life jackets. And then we have the solarium, which is the adults only. area. You have 2 big hot tubs, although for this cruise, this one has been out for the count for the most of the time. I think they've had an issue with a leakage or water or something, but there's another big hot tub right over there, same as this one, and then there's a heated pool in the middle, which again is still closed, so it has the netting on it, but a very nice area. You then have sun loungers all around. It's open to the elements here, but nice and covered on the side, so this is usually a great place to come if you want to get a little bit of reprieve from the windy days on the pool deck. And that pretty much takes care of the main pool deck, so let's head up 1 deck higher to the sun deck and let me show you what we have there. Oh, one last thing, a tip. A great place to come and see sailaways, or when you're arriving in port, is to come here to the solarium to the very side, and then you have these sliding doors with these pop-out balconies where you can get amazing views to the side of the ship as well as to the front of the ship. You can see the bridge just there. Just a fun tip if you are looking for a great sailaway spot. It does get busy. A lot of people know about this place, but it's a great place to come and check. Maybe you have some room to come enjoy when you're leaving port. So at the back of the ship, on this deck, only staterooms. You then have the jogging track here, and at the very back you go 1 deck up and there's a viewing platform up there. Nothing else really. There's no services. There's some sun loungers there, but nothing else. But a really great place to maybe come and check out the sunset or the sunrise, or just to have great views for sail away. Another similar area is right here. There's a platform up there again with sun loungers, and so very similar two areas. It'll be interesting to see if they do something more specific with those areas, because I feel that they're very underutilized areas, because there's no bar there, there's nothing, no action or no entertainment there. So I would say it's a bit of a waste of space at the moment, in my opinion, even though we have been there just for the views, because the views are spectacular from there. But let's see, I would expect that they would have something more there at some point. Then we have the Sky Lounge here, which is the bar on this deck. I hope the wind isn't catching too badly. There's a nice little lounge here. And then the bar just here. The bar's been closed quite often on this cruise, mainly because of the weather, and I think it's just because it's so cold, no one's really up here. Then if we continue to the back, we should have the main venues on this deck. All right, so first off, we have Adventure Ocean, which is the kids club. There's also the Royal Babies and Tots, which is the nursery on board. And then you also have the arcade. you have the spa and fitness center, the Vitality Spa. As you can see, Adventure Ocean and the arcade. We're here and we're heading this way now. And this is where the spa will be. And that's then it for deck 12. We still have a little bit more to go. So let's head up to deck 13, where we have the sports court. Now I have to say I'm not a fan of how the sports deck is taken care of on this ship, because it's at the back of the ship and it's a bit awkward to get here because you have to come to the inside areas, to the carpeted areas, and there's one small corridor that takes you out there, so it's a bit confusing. You don't really accidentally run into this area. And that's where you have the water slides and the flow rider, as you will see soon when I take you there. And it's a bit awkward that it's separated then from the rest of the pool area, because it's not really like a natural tie between the two areas. And I would love to do the pools and the slides together, but it's, as I said, a bit awkward. But let's go take a look. Nonetheless, it's a very fun area. All right, so very back of the ship, you have the sports court, so the basketball court, pickleball court. They play just about everything here. Then if we look behind me, there's the rock climbing wall just here. If we head this way, we then have the entrance to the suite lounge, and then we have the putt-putt, or the mini golf course. And this puts then the basketball court right behind me. If we pop over to the other side, we then have the two water slides. I have to say that the blue one was much faster than the yellow one, for me at least. But you can do racing on the slides, and then this is where you would sign up for the flow rider. The entrance to the slide is just behind. And then the last thing remaining is the flow rider here at the very back of the ship, with amazing views to the ocean. They also have beanbag tossing on this deck. So the last thing that we have here, which is deck 14, is the Viking Crown, which has the suite lounge. We have the High Notes Dance Club. So you have a DJ playing here at night, and there's amazing views and a bar here as well. A great place to come see sailaways or watch the views, but you have to come and get your space very early because it's a very popular spot. And on top of these two areas, then we also have Izumi, which is the Japanese restaurant on board. All right, so that almost takes care of the ship tour. You've seen every deck. I do have one bonus place I want to show you before I leave you for today. So let's go take a look at what I have for you guys. All right, so I'm heading now back down to deck 4. There's an outside area there as well that I didn't show you. And there you will have access to the helipad. So let's go take a look. Not on every ship can you get to the helipad. This is one of those ships where you can, so it should be a lot of fun. Let's go see how windy it is. So yes, deck 4 has this outside area where you can come walk. You can see some views. You have the lifeboats and the muster stations here as well. But the best thing here is the access to the helipad. This deck isn't meant for running. Actually, there's an explicit mention not to run on this deck. The running deck, as I said, was on deck 11. No, sorry, was on deck 12, which is the sun deck. But I've seen people hanging out here, reading books or just watching the views go by. So it's a really nice place to hang out. And somehow I would say it can be easily missed because there isn't really anything really to draw you out here except, of course, those beautiful views. But if you head all the way to the front of the ship on this deck outside, we will have access to the helipad. Let me show you. So here I'm now just walking all the way as far front on the ship as I can get. And then we find ourselves on the helipad. It's actually beautiful out here right now. We're going so slow because we're just heading into Skagen, Denmark today. So there's barely a breeze on the helipad. There were other people on there as well watching us as we arrive in this beautiful town that we'll be in today. So really fun place. Can be very windy when we're out at sea, so just be aware that it will be very, very gusty if you try to make it up here when the ship is going full speed. But something to keep in mind, a very special place, especially since you cannot get on the helipad on all ships. So it's really these older, smaller ones where that's still possible. But that's it, you guys. That's all the Voyager of the Seas has to offer. It's not the biggest ship in the fleet, but it's a great one. I would say my only annoyance is really how some of the places, because it's an older ship, are a bit sporadically spread around and not really logical to get to. So you really need to have a little bit of a think, especially at the beginning of the cruise, to learn where everything is and to know where you find whatever it is that you want to do. But other than that, great ship. It's in great condition. Royal Caribbean always takes super good care of their ships. So this is a really fun ship and we've had a great time on board. We've been on board now for 15 days, so I have to say I know the ship in and out. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the channel next time. Bye.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.